It'll like help or
Hey, let me do the talking, buddy. So, hello everybody, welcome to Game Cave Development, the first of hopefully many streams. Hopefully this doesn't crash on me. The person you hear talking before I get a chance to is Brandon James. Brandon, say hi.
hi.
Say hi, Brandon.
Hello.
So what the hell is this? So basically, folks, what happens is I'm starting the actual artwork and real development of Game Cave. And so generally I don't like to stream this sort of stuff. I like to have a place where I'm sort of by myself. However, I do think I was thinking about this, Brandon. Like 20 years from now, it'd be great to actually have this recorded.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I doubt I'm ever gonna. I tried to keep a journal once. Like write my life down. So this is about it. I have disabled Q&A, but feel free if you're watching to leave comments in the YouTube. I'll answer them. Off air. I can't have a group chat while I sit around drawing and stuff. So um, these are usually sketchbooks I don't share. So bear with the creative process. This is an older sketchbook I'm not using anymore.
Well, your podcast is like a life journal. I mean, it ups and downs and emotions and
Career-wise, but I'm trying to build a new journal. You know what I mean?
right.
Like most of my podcast has been around how my career's gone horribly wrong, and I can't stop it. You know, and so this is like where I'm trying to undo that pain and suffering. So what am I going over? Plus, I want to be able to post this stuff to the backers, give them since they're waiting forever for this. I want to give them the option to get done. Now, Brandon, I have you on here right now because I want to talk about stuff that I said we wouldn't talk about, but on this video we can talk about it here.
Okay.
So let's talk about what you will be doing to help me produce Game Cave. I got you basically learning how to use SketchUp, correct?
Correct.
So here's the deal, folks. While I'm developing, I freehand this stuff. Like this is me drawing at a hotel where I write after work. I had a fight occur inside this place called Crepes a lot, and you can see an initial sketch here. Here's an initial sketch, and I drew like a little mini map of the battle, and then all the characters that Bombcat has to fight. I had to name them and figure out what they look like. Because what happened was I tried to imagine this in my head, and then went to go write it, and I didn't know what the fuck I was writing. I don't have like pictures. I guess writers generally go on the internet or in books and they take photos and they clip all this reference together and they use that to describe things. I had to look this up to figure out how writers describe stuff. I figured they just saw it in their head. It's not actually true. So, and then they'll describe the pictures. Well, then it dawned on me that, hey, I'm an artist. Forgot about that. So I could just draw stuff. So I had this whole battle I wrote. It took me like 2 weeks, and then I had to go back and like do these rough sketches and go back and then add in descriptions of people, so I knew who they were and where they were fighting. So Brandon is going to take like see this right here is a second version of the crepe slot, the exterior,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll be then modeling, block modeling, hopefully to get better and better. Like I hopefully you'll be able to build essentially my drawings in 3D
Right.
that then I will then use to do the final drawing over with extra details, all sorts of shit. Plan out the pose, do the digital painting element because I would like the artwork inside to also be like I have a list of key art and I would like it to be somewhat presentable beyond just scribbles with some loose digital painting over it. These concept stuff will still make it in either in the book or on the side panels if I need extra boxes to fill up, or maybe even in a supplemental sketchbook. But uh, I do have this like future plan that maybe someday we'll be able to build parts of Game Cave like in virtual reality and stuff. It'd be pretty cool. Go there. So this is like a good Rev 1 for all that sort of stuff. So I got you building crepes a lot. Um, and this is sort of a rough exterior. The final exterior roughy I came up with is on the Facebook page, right? And you've seen
Mm-hmm.
that, right, Brandon?
Right.
So what I'm trying to do is see this right here. This is like the rough. This right here is the overview of what this is. The building shape I'm thinking it
Yeah.
actually is. See, it's this trapezoidal shape, right?
Hmm.
And if you look here, there's these four pillars. This would be the base, the central dining area, and then this dining wall, and then back here behind that would be the kitchen storage room. The thing is the side of it, and this is where I gotta sit down here and sketch this out a bit more so you can see it. Is I was thinking like on this, there'll be windows along the side. Like I
Hmm.
didn't know what this was going to be right here, but I knew these were going to be like glass windows, so I'll actually have plants and trees on those sides of the buildings. But you're not modeling, but you get the hint.
Hmm.
So I had to figure that out, and then I had to code it with numbers and describe to myself what all this shit is, you know. And this is Butter Bay, which is vaguely shaped like a controller. Look how I did that.
Nice.
Look at that. Ooh. And that's where you plug in your microphone, and that's the Xbox button now. But I know, right? The stupid shit we have to do when you're designing all this stuff. So I thought I would take the time here to start to sketch some of this stuff out. This is something once you're done with the crepe slot, we might have you model out too. The Dolly Parton van. I'm not done with this. These are really rough sketches,
Hmm.
but I thought that might be kind of cool. Basically, what happens is they're walking from a pier to Game Cave, and they have to push this cart full of games. It's an actual giant cart crated with games.
Gotcha.
And so Katra's pulling it, and the brakes go out on him, and the dolly cart squishes him flat, and then flies into this restaurant. So in the Facebook version, you'll see I've taken this and also sketched in this debris
Hmm.
that's wrecked in there. So once you build the layout, then we'll work out the debris. You know what I mean? Like we'll make a
Right.
copy of it, and then because imagine it like, like a Final Fantasy screen. You know what I mean? Like just think about Final Fantasy VII, the older ones, with the fixed camera angles and shit.
Right.
So, but pretty. This is what it's like to design a world, right? It's fun, huh?
Right.
So you don't win a lot of bonus points for like. Uh, right now, this isn't like technical illustration. A lot of it's like really trying to just concept it out properly. And then I also kind of show you some. I'm gonna walk you through like. Hold on, I'll send you some links. You can kind of see. Hmm. Give me a second, but I'll definitely give you a couple reference things so you can kind of see the kinds of roof shapes and stuff I'm thinking of. So you get a good feel for the shapes of the town. Classical JRPG kind of Frenchy look. It's almost like a diamond shape. And this is why it helps to just have a little bit of perspective, under your belt.
That's why I got SketchUp.
The trick here is I don't know how wide I want the front to be of the building,
Hmm.
you know? So you'll probably want to block it in first, and then we'll have to like kind of mess with the scale, because like here it's kind of thin. Let's see if I can. Here it's sort of
Hmm.
thinner, but then on my art it's a little like yeah, you can kind of see here it's a little thinner than it gets wide. So I don't draw it to scale. Sorry. And if people would like to know more about drawing perspective, I suggest they look up videos and shit. I'm really not good at teaching people like that stuff. I don't have the patience for it.
That is true.
Some of them try to fight me on that. They go, "Well, Rob, you could. You know."
You
I'm
could
like,
do a lot of things. You just don't have the time or patience for it
I'm
most
like,
of
I
the
don't
time.
want to be an artist that sits around like, well, what's the podcast for? It's for me. Like I was looking at my Godzilla Saucy the other day,
Hmm.
and I was like, did I print that out? How did I? I had to go kick open the video and watch how I did it. I was like, oh yeah, all right. All this stuff is for really to remind me. Like I'm certain 3 books from now, I'll be back looking at this. Like, how did I fucking?
Right.
I'm pretty certain of it. I mean, it is funny the other day. I was like, I could just draw this stuff before I start writing some of this. You know, I actually know an artist. I'm not trying to do a ton of study research. It's really just to kind of help you a little bit,
Hmm.
get a sense of what I think, what I'm thinking, you know. And I have to do this for like all the major locations, bro. So like, that's why I said it's too much for me to model and draw, if you catch my drift,
Right.
you know. But yeah, being able to at least block in the doors and the windows, recede them kind of shit, and then I can go in there and do my, final whatever. Then I figure after a few buildings, you'll get a knack for the kinds of roofs and shit too, you know what I mean?
Right.
And the more ornamental stuff. But like one of the things I ran into a problem with, when I was drawing the Spider-Man background or even coloring it was it's a real pain in the ass to draw that shit and then have it all line up properly.
Hmm.
I don't believe in just rendering out a 3D version of it because that looks a little janky. So there's a portion of like building some in 3D and then me drawing over and doing all the extra details.
Hmm.
Like I don't expect you to model a bunch of fucking glasses and shit, like bottles and stuff over there.
The cool stuff is with the SketchUp too. If there's something like that, let's say you need like I don't know, something odd like a chandelier, and let's say I don't know how to make it, they have a lot of things like it's a community. So let's say
I don't
someone
want you
else.
using people's models.
Okay.
That's what I don't want, and I can
Okay.
explain to you why. When I was working on, say I got into SketchUp 2005.
Okay.
So when I started working on Monstroids, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start using some of these models and stuff. If I need an Aztec pyramid, oh look, someone making an Aztec pyramid. I'll just grab that, drag it around here, some stuff. I'll use that as a base. You know what happens is everyone's using the same models, bro. I can open up
Right.
a Marvel comic right now and show you the same fucking Aztec pyramid. You catch
Gotcha.
my drift?
Yeah.
So I don't want any pre-made stuff.
What I meant to say was, if you want something like a chandelier, I'll sit down and figure out how to make it.
That's exactly. Do you see me using pre-made art here? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's what has to happen. You know.
And that's what I said originally. Nothing else.
Yeah. So whatever work you thought you were gonna get out of, you just let that go.
Oh, I
Like
didn't.
Moses' people, bro. You know what I mean? You just let it go.
Oh, I didn't think I'd be getting out of anything. I'm sure I'm in it to win it. Moses' people.
But like when it comes to Butter Bay, like I'll want you to build a pretty complex like and when I say complex, I mean it's like building all the base stuff.
Hmm.
Buildings represented by basic blocks with little roof shapes, you know what I mean? But it's
Right.
all built. I want to be able to rotate it, move it around because, quite frankly, bro, like these are gonna be like I need the art to actually match up to the level of detail it needs to be at. Yeah, so that's where teamwork comes in and finding someone who's willing to fucking go on the adventure. you know. Plus, it is kind of fun, you know,
Yeah, it's
and it'll be some shit you can be proud of and shit too, you know.
well, it was just like when me and the wife were driving home tonight, and uh, she was like, "Are you nervous?" I'm like, "No." I go, "You see what Rob makes." I go, "That artistically, that part is covered. I just got to make sure I do my work, and everything else will be great." I was like, I was like, I definitely am on the right team as far as talent goes.
Yeah, I mean that's you know, it's really at this point it's just follow through and listening to my feedback, you know. I won't set you up for failure. But like I've had to piece the way I want layouts to be done, the look of everything, for the past 6, 7 months, you know. And there's been a lot of back and forth in my own head about how I wanted that to happen and look like and everything else. So uh, there comes a point where I'm like, I can either do a simple version or a more complex version. And the more complex version involves teamwork. Like there's no
Right.
any kind of regular kind of schedule or semblance of schedules, you know. Hmm. I don't know how that's supposed to work, actually. Don't look. That's this thing too. How does that roof kind of work? Some shit I'm not gonna know. You know what I mean? Like until you kind of get to a
Mm-hmm.
point where you're like, I don't know, and then eventually I figure out the kinds of things I like, and you go, I did it this way, you know, and that'll
Right.
work. That's sort of part of it, you know. Maybe like this. Mm, hmm. I think I probably should just. That's strange. I don't know how that's supposed to work, actually.
What is it? What is the?
It's just the top of the roof. I'm trying to figure out how I want it to.
That's for the crepes, right?
Yeah.
Didn't it look kind of like a on a watchtower, but it had like a clock feel to it?
No, I took the clock off. That's
Oh,
why you're gonna have to look at the final art. I largely think this sort of thing's boring for most people, so I tend to not bother to stream it. It's me sitting in my room, usually with not even any music. Usually just me sitting here trying to like figure shit out.
right.
See, I know I'm gonna want it more pronounced than all that. So there just comes a point where you're like, well, you'll have to build 1.0. I'll have to figure out how to change it. Like there might be a point where you get it and I just kind of sketch over it and I'm like more like this,
Right.
then adjust. Because I actually made it so there's a giant crepe at top, like a crepe statue with a little berry. He's got a little smiley face. Yeah, so I'll scan that in because I don't think I have that scanned in. And then and then for me, it's a matter of working out Game Cave right now. So like this was my initial sketch of Game Cave from a 3/4 perspective.
Okay.
I will take this to a further roughie because I don't expect you to make too much sense of that. Game Cave Online. And again, my reference for these sort of little dioramas are like, again, Final Fantasy VII,
Mhm.
like those kinds of rooms, the way the layouts are done.
Are those shelves or servers?
These are actually shells because um, they sell the games, uh, the retro games.
Hmm.
So you would, even though this is a digital environment, you'd pick it up and then you'd buy it, and then it would digitally go away and be in your inventory. So it looks just like a sort of futuristic, old school gaming shop, like
Right.
GameStop. Yeah.
Okay. I see the picture there where you took out the clock. Oh, I was looking online. The
Yeah.
crepes, the black and white.
And this is a side view of Game Cave. And no overhead. So like when we get the Game Cave will be 3 levels,
Hmm.
right? 3 levels. Uh, built on this base, comes around like this stairwell, little fucking ramp and shit like that for pedestrians. There's a park back here. It's kind of built in. This is Bombcat's loft, where she's living,
Nice.
and this is where the cafe is, Mochi's Cafe, and it's got vaulted ceilings and shit. So it's like, yeah, up here, and then back up here is Rad's office, and this is the gaming museum that he's building up
Hmm.
here, and then that's her loft, and then this little side part is the store. So you'd walk in the lobby, go right in the store. You can go into the dining area. It's got these tables, like I imagine bookshelves, but with games.
Right.
Every game and gaming magazine you can, oh yeah, all these are all games with game consoles, and then here's yeah, the gaming library filled with games and strategy guides and books and all that shit. So like a cafe, like a coffee shop for video games.
Right.
There's a tabletop room. This is probably the most important model because I need seven, that's like 8 or 9 different illustrations for that. So it's a lot of stuff. Some stuff that doesn't need to be modeled, I already drew, or like her pocket blade,
Hmm.
which is may well have been a 3D model, right?
Right.
Yeah, her stat boy, her bento bombs, different kinds of bombs, her little her little bento table where she makes them.
Hmm.
So she's got her little like the rope
Hmm.
that you ignite is laid over. She makes it like pasta. She got a little pasta roller like for it. She got little bombs in a bowl here. She got little bomb ingredients. She puts them in like bento, little smiley faces and majeki, which are basically like materia. Wine.
Definitely don't lack details.
Yeah, I can't wait to put this all together. You know what I mean? It's assembling all this stuff, dude. That is the real trick. Not a lot of people. But like I said, it's a real little universe. It's no bullshit. So I'll be sketching Game Cave this week because it's going to be a lot of sketching for you. You're going to make crepes a lot,
Hmm.
and then hopefully you'll be done with that this week. Um, hopefully that's not trouble. If that's
I
if
don't
that's
think so.
easy, then it's not a problem. Then I'm going to have you make the Game Cave online, this right here,
Hmm.
because I know I need art asset. I have an art asset list, which I'll share with you so you can see what's in front of us. It's a lot. So it's actually not a lot of drawing once it's modeled for me to do, you know?
Right.
But to get it all to like a presentable piece of work is tricky. And then as soon as you got a good handle on it, we need to build all the ships and stuff. Because I'm tired of sketching them
Right.
every time I turn around. I mean, I don't mind like this, but you know, for presentation art and shit.
Hmm.
And then hopefully we can work out a style with maps. Because you know how they do the maps like in Game of Thrones?
Uh, or wait, is it kind of like Lord of the Rings where stuff comes alive like throughout it? Or
No, it's just that the maps right here are drawn geometrically. It'd be great to be able to lay it down and then actually elevate them, you know?
okay.
So I could take a map and actually show these little things that are all occurring with actual shapes, you know?
And you said that's on Game of Thrones?
It's the opening to Game of Thrones, bro. Like,
I'll have to look at. I've never seen it.
oh no,
No.
you'll like it. But you'll see what I mean. This isn't going to be hard. It's mostly
Right.
geometrical.
I'm gonna write it down though. Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So tons of stuff to do. I'm supposed to keep it all in this book now. So I don't have multiple books running around. So let me get this one thing email. Let me get this little topography thing. You need this, right?
Yeah, I'll take anything just to have.
Let me just grab you that really quick. And then
Are you recording or live streaming?
live streaming. I
Which
don't do that recording thing, dude, because it's just another step.
right. But
The whole
once you're done live streaming, it stays on there, right?
yeah, this all will be on.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is forever, dude. So why?
Oh, I was just because we've never talked about it.
Yeah, but that's why I opened up with. Do you listen to me when I talk?
I listen.
I said, in the confines of the game cave dev, we can talk about this stuff here.
Yes.
Outside of that, don't. You really think the people I'm talking about watch this shit?
No.
So, there you
That answered my question.
go. Where is that scan? Here it is. They scan it like super high res, so I have to. You saw the original concept art sketch I did for the cover, right? That big. It'll be a big landscape shot of
Uh,
like Butter Bay, and I started to pull back from that because I was like,
I might have seen it like long time ago.
it's something that I was like, oh, I'll have to build that in 3D, like, and I don't want to fucking do it. So I might go back to that. I don't know. Yeah, there's 36 hours in a day in their world. So I was sketching out clocks that can actually show that. File, save as, desktop, folder. This is just part of that job where you gotta like get all this shit. Create. Okay. And then let me open up. Yeah, but I think someone was asking me like when I sketched this stuff, they're like, "Why didn't you stream that?" I was like, "Yeah, I didn't really think about like, should I be? I mean, I can't stream everything
Right.
unless I start making that time. But like, it's just a whole fucking thing, dude. I don't want to hold back drawing. What I'm afraid is I'll be like, oh, I have to stream everything, and then it'll be like, well, I can't write right now because I need to draw, and I can't draw because I got an hour's drive from home, you know. So I'm
Right.
gonna wait here for an hour. So what am I gonna do? Nothing. Like, I think that's where I'm just gonna have to like move on to other shit that doesn't require description in the writing. So I'll work this shit out. Location and where is it? You can just save that one that's on the Facebook, right?
For which one?
For the exterior and interior shot of the crepes a
Yeah, that's
lot.
fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Just save that. Kind of want to dig it up.
That's fine.
And then go into your, where is that? Oh, I keep thinking we're on Skype. So, Yahoo. I'll start drawing here in a second, folks. I just gotta email. And I want to show you kind of like the exterior, like the kind of layouts I'm thinking of using for the exteriors, so you can see where I'm going, right?
Okay.
So just give me a second. But this is stuff that starts to feel like it's piling up, and I'm like, I can't let this pile up. I can't. So we'll get a lock on this, and then with your downtime, we'll get you up on the Flash for that other stuff.
Gotcha.
And then once you're up on the Flash, you can just focus on your free time getting that water plugged in. You know, that's just going to be hard. The first time.
Right.
Just accept that. I thought of the easiest ways around it, and so, but I think this might help too, because you'll see the kind of world I'm thinking. When you see me color shit, you're like, oh yeah, I know Rob likes this. I think that's the hardest part I always found was trying to get into like the person's head, like where are they trying to go with some of this shit? What are they expecting? All right, so I can start to draw GameCube now. So I just sent you, I emailed you that stuff, the basic overhead, which, and then I need you to look at. Let me see if I can just get you some keywords. I can't post a link to, can I? You on Facebook?
It can be. Got your email.
Or you get your Skype open, right? Just open your
Uh,
Skype so I can send you a link that way.
yep. It open.
So for exterior, like I'm thinking about using these kinds of layouts. Here would be one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now and just imagining all the shapes that I would make.
Uh, I'll get you some. Hold on, just bear with me 1 second. Assets, pictures, Butter Bay. I'll get you some photo reference too here so you can kind of see. But I'm showing you like the layouts too, like I'll probably render stuff like from these kinds of angles.
Hmm.
But like if I could like I'll show you a couple right here. Matter of fact, let me see if I can screen share this. So this would be good for reference. So really quickly, like uh, Butter Bay, I imagine looks kind of like this when you first like this is the kind of architecture I'm thinking for crepes a little bit.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Hmm.
like if you need a real world reference,
Right.
and I'll send you some of this. You can see some of these shapes. You know,
Right. All the cutouts. The
yeah, and you see these long windows with these squares.
right.
See the wood.
Hmm.
See this steeple stuff here. And then this was a different reference for this. I was thinking like, um, like this is how I imagine the city kind of being laid out. Elevations,
Right.
see,
Different levels.
towns. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they would be up like here, looking down wherever they're at. Uh, like this is good. See how close everything is.
Hmm.
This is how like there's this port when you first come in where they dock, and this is kind of like how I imagine that long port. And like there's a little mini town on port called Pier Town. It's got some shops built up, and it goes further in.
I like the statues too, like overlooking it.
Yeah, this is pretty cool, right? Like Prague. Yeah, like kind of like this. It's like mini castle, a little mini city, and then the city goes on beyond that, like this. So we'll build all that later. But like for crepes, uh, the stuff I showed you, you can see here like the
Uh,
levels with the water going through.
if there's anything I love, it's water.
Yeah, I told you better get real like used to it. See these roofs?
Mm,
So I'll send you this and that other stuff so you can use that as a reference.
okay.
And I have this as an example of what the world would look like. Like imagine if the town is built right here. Like
Ah,
imagine
okay.
the scale is really an ocean, you know?
Hmm.
And this is like islands, This is, built right in here and all this shit going around it. So I can see this as a good reference too. So yeah, I'll send you that stuff. And then let's see if I can. mm, Color ref. Some of these are hidden in folders because I drag them from work. I'm like, I'll show you some screenshots like from Bravely Default. Like, see how they 3D it?
Hmm.
It's painted. It's got this cool, like, see, this is drawn over a 3D model. This is the level of detail I want, so hence why
Right.
we have to build it. Catch my drift?
Hmm.
So, and then the interior stuff. That's pretty easy. Kickstarter reference. So I can show you here some more of those. I'll use these dramatic angles for like the artwork in book, right? So you model it, then I'll pick a cool like wide camera angle,
Hmm.
because that's all I do is take the 3D model, they place the camera, and then they paint over the renders and shit, draw and paint over. So this is all visual reference that I've called. So like GameCube Online will look like this, like it'll have a tech look to it. It'll be like a cross between an 80s mall, Final Fantasy 8 80s mall, and sci-fi. Um, but like the world is like poor flooded city, but you see, like
Right.
the world is really storybook. And this is what I was talking about, like the whole city.
Uh,
See?
and two, so like when I build something, you'll take it and you'll choose your camera angles that you'll want to
Yeah, you don't have to
model.
worry about that. You just
Yeah.
worry about the modeling.
Right.
But this is how I'm going to do the cutouts, right?
Okay.
See? For the interiors.
Right. They showed me how to do stuff like too, where you take, you delete the two walls and then.
That's why I was saying if you could build the thing as is, then it kind of it's cool because then that I drew, we can just cut that out. You know what I mean? I don't have
Right.
to sit there and like fake it. But this is actually from Final Fantasy VII. See? And I think that stuff helps when you read a book, right? To
Right.
see where all that shit's coming from. So that's it. No big deal, right? This is my little sketch I did last night. Put on the podcast.
Very nice.
So
Yeah. No pressure.
yeah.
No pressure.
All right. So now I can let me just kick you a couple of those file transfers
Okay.
so you have the reference.
I'm gonna run use the bathroom real quick.
Hmm. Let me get him. I'm sending him some of the visual reference. Be lunar. And then one more. All right, he should be pretty good. So then I can get going on this stuff. All right. So now I'm going to pull open my little list of shit I got here to do. actually made that in the Google Drive.
All right, let's see. All
Oh wait, the shit's not there. It's in my fucking. It's in my Mac. All right. Just gotta. I built my list in Scrivener,
mm-hmm.
so I gotta copy and paste that over to my Evernote. So you can see Scrivener here. This is where my online development novella art list. Copy and then
All right. I think they're all downloaded.
just synchronizing that. Like it's hard to see, dude, but like these are just art items just for like chapter one alone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So so that went to there, and I should be able to just bear with me, folks. I haven't, like I said, this is normally stuff I don't show. So
Getting that sneak preview.
like I said, I just want a place where this is all recorded. Like, oh, hey, people steal your ideas. It's like doubtful. Really doubtful. People generally steal things that are already a success. You know,
Right.
they don't steal things before there's a success. And the things that people generally steal from me are the easy things. They never take the hard shit.
Right.
So, okay, so I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think right now I'm counting 9 separate parts. Like, I don't know, dude. Like I said, when it comes to building Game Cave, that's gonna be on you how you know what I mean? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I don't even want to think about it. I just want to step back and be like, go hook it up. All right, so I can get this started. Let me think about that. So I'm thinking you walk into the store and you can go left or straight ahead into this. If you're a Power Club member, you can go into the actual Game Cave thing. Got a little Power Club card, you can go in there. So people just off the street can't get in and jank shit and stuff.
Right.
And so just make that. And then this would stick out this way. And then I imagine there's this little spot here that pops out. This is where I have to like double check reference to see like how does that look in real life. Oh yeah, that works. So and then so if you walk in and the game store's here, and then say you can get out. And this will be the table area, so I don't have to have two fucking illustrations. We can do this in one. This also gives me an idea of like how much space,
Uh-huh.
because roughly this is how much space would be there for this illustration. So that means I can kind of sketch these out and be like, oh, we could kind of fit this, you know?
Right.
Which means you can model this much out here. And that goes to Mochi's Cafe. So, and again, it's not, to scale here. You know,
Hmm.
that's what 3D's for. Basic perspective, folks, Like you give yourself a ground plane. I mean, I have this topographical map I've made, so I can kind of know, what I'm kind of looking for here. and it's a good first sketch. So stay entryway. I mean, the lengths of these should be much longer, but I'm not gonna get into all that now. Then a question comes down to I think when you walk in, the countertop should be here because you'd come in and be like, "Oh, how are you?" No, 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 no.
Right.
Just like GameStop. But this is more. It's more like Disneyland, and you know what I mean. You
Hmm.
know what I mean. The interiors, Switzerland, shit like that. Like I imagine blocking the nifty view would be, I don't know, maybe some games. And I find it easier to kind of block stuff on the ground in silhouette and then build up.
Hmm.
Let me look up. This is where I'll go and I'll look up something. Um, trying to look up some older gaming stores I kind of grew up with. Right, so if GameCube Online is set up, so you come in, if I want this, maybe it's more like this. Where is my? I never can find my shit. Been drawing all day today at work, so I'm a little. What did I tell you? I got 3 hours of sleep last night.
Nice.
Yeah, that's really great when you look at the clock. It's 4:30, and you have to be up in 3 hours for work. Mm. Where'd I put my case? Okay, whatever. All right. So I think I'm gonna mirror GameCube Online. So I'll have a case here. One, two, three, four, two. And there'll probably be more room when you get in the actual model, you know? It's like, we actually got this room. If this is this scale, this is how much room we have, you know? That's what I'm counting on. And my drawings are really just like the guide, you know?
Hmm.
So,
What I love about SketchUp too, it's like, I could type in the space right at the beginning. So if I want 30 feet by 30 feet,
but see,
then
you understand what that means, right? Because I don't understand feet. I mean, when I try to tell people how I don't understand um,
measurements.
measurements, I don't. Like, my mind, I literally don't have any grasp on things like measurements and distance. Um, I wish I did.
I mean, some people aren't good at that, I guess. I do it at work all day. Like I'm measuring furniture and just things there. I'm just like, all right, this is this by this size, and I write down the measurements and the width, the length, the backs.
Right. Well, that's why I try to tell you, you know, like you're probably better at this than me. So let's just pick something and fucking start with it. I think technically, like, I'm not supposed to show that face. Sometimes I think I need a more dramatic angle. I may have picked too pedestrian. I may have needed to go a little higher up, but sometimes it's just picking the wrong angle to start off with. That's gonna have to be open. So maybe this back stuff won't really be visible from here. See, I think it can be, but I just think that I picked too high an angle or too low an angle. Like I probably should have tried something closer to that. Yeah, I think that's what I should have done. Sometimes you just gotta be like, well, that was a sketch. That was a start. And there's kind of no way around this. Like, I tried thinking of everything I could do to where I don't have to sketch anything out. But I can't just put my images, you know, like a map won't do enough. But, you know, like those little sketches you have for crepes a lot, I think really make a difference beyond just the overhead map.
Right.
This, by the way, is what every editor I ever worked with feared that I would share my development as I was making stuff. This scared the piss out of them every time I mentioned it. Well, well, being that you guys never fucking ship my shit anyway, what does it matter? Like,
Right.
you know. Actually have this and double check my scale. Yeah, this will work. So create some racks here, and then some kiosks over here, displaying all the new bullshit fucking games. This is where like the drawing because I really need my gum eraser because the sketches I put down are usually just a beginning. Where did I put my case full of fucking shit? I had a case. There it is. It's right there. Problem is it's neutral gray, so it blends in with the entire room. So I can get started with some of this shit now. It was like I could design this stuff like in fake. You know?
All right.
When it comes to actually like doing it for real. It's like see I think like that shouldn't even be over there. That should probably be way back there. Wish I didn't have to do this, but so quick little tip: you can just start to mirror. If if you don't know where the other stuff should go, just start to keep it parallel. So you can sort of build a little.
Mm-hmm.
Also helps to have some paper that has a little tooth to it. That's why I got this. So when I'm using the pen, it's not, it kind of drags a little bit, so it's not heavy on the paper. Let me add another one. These are probably too close together, but it gets the point across.
Right.
And by the way, drawing this isn't hard. It's trying to figure out what I want to draw that
Right.
throws me off. It's like I don't know. I don't know. What's we'll just say that's out, even though I don't know if that's accurate.
So by by the, excuse me, by the end of the week, you want outside and inside done, right?
Yeah, I'd like to see if that can't. Hopefully, we can get that to where it's more. You're getting more than just that in a week.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, because we'll never get anything done. So,
Well, I don't see it being a problem. I
right.
couldn't remember what you said.
Yeah, if you can get that done by fucking Wednesday, even better. You know?
Today is Monday. Yeah.
Because it's one building, so we can't do one building in a week. Like,
Yeah. I could have it. I could have it by Wednesday.
I get this perspective isn't exactly right, but I don't give a shit. It's the first rev. You know,
Uh-huh.
like I try to like get past total perfection and get right into like what the fuck is I'm trying to do. Because at some point I can overthink it, trying to get everything like lining up, and I have to remind myself that it's not really about that. It's about, and the reason why I'm doing this by hand and say not just designing it in Photoshop, which you know, is because I won't always be available to be in Photoshop doing stuff, and I find that trying to at least take a first stab at things with hand, one, it'll give you a physical journal, like a book. I mean,
Hmm.
like, I fill this book up with Game Cave shit. This shit takes off. Someday I have a really expensive piece of material lying around. Like, something I've been trying to be really conscious of over the last few years is making sure that, even if I work digitally, I have physical things lying around for sale. I
Right.
mean, maybe not right now, but someday kind of shit. Also, when you design things by hand, you will arrive at certain designs and shapes that you won't digitally. And I think there's something to be said for that. Like, imagine there being like paintings instead of TV screens. Maybe it's more like it should not be high tech.
I think I'm gonna go to bed, Rob. I am tired from the day. It's also
All right,
12 my
dude.
time. Um,
We gotta
and
get it hooked up. I gotta test on your computer sometime
mm,
to see if we can stream while you're modeling too sometime. So we won't do that right away,
okay.
but well,
It's like that makes me nervous. Not
oh,
not.
you can't do that with people looking.
Well, I mean, I can. I just wouldn't want to do it on my first try or two.
Maybe I just record it and have you upload. You know,
Yeah.
what are you so worried about?
I don't know, man. I get it's new territory for me, I guess. So it's just I know I'm gonna make mistakes.
Yeah, but if you make mistakes and then I speed it up, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's irrelevant.
Then it just looks like a building being built up from the ground up in time
Yeah,
lapse.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So, well, I can at least get that set up, and then you'll have to render it and upload it.
All right.
But that's not too difficult.
All right.
I would just like the game cave stuff, you know.
Yeah. I get it. Oh, excuse me. So hit me up tomorrow then.
All right,
All right. Cool.
bye.
Night.
I like the idea of there being a big circle right there. And again, this isn't really about like accurate perspective and shit. It's just trying to get a feel for how I want to. I can sort of imagine that window. That being a big window. Maybe little lanterns. And this would be the doorway to these little gaming table area. These coffee tables where you could sit around and pile up a stack of games and Super Nintendo. These would be the newer releases. Older retro shit back here. Maybe like the pristine copies. I imagine that they could check out, their games. If you're in the Power Club, you could check out the games and play them in take them out to the library and play them there. throw some of that up on there. And I imagine maybe we could have some. I don't know, some gaming statues of some kind. That should be on the wall, not lining on. I think they'll have 2 registers, actually. The busy days. Set a rug out. Something. Let's see. think that pen is lose it. See, I know I'm going to have to go and actually design some shells that will be ornamental. So that's going to take some effort. But I can kind of get an idea here what I want to do. And that requires looking up a little research. Like sometimes you just have to kind of like blot something in and be like, well, I know I kind of want to do that. Or something like this, or this idea. And then, you know, build off it from there. Some kind of pole thingy. And then we'll just mirror these racks right here. So I have a spot for that. We can stick another little kiosk right here. That might be kind of have this big window right here, and then block it with those kiosks. 1 second. Sorry, folks, but even my boss calls me sometimes. But you see, I still work, right? The even at midnight, I get the phone calls. But what I'm gonna do 7 hours from now. Didn't intend for this, but I'm gonna definitely add this like extra balcony up here. Then it'll come down. So the perspective's off. It's not, it's not cohesive. Like these are hovering up in midair, but it's a start. This wall's all fucked up. But I definitely want to do like a gallery thing up here. Tons of art from different games, maybe painted, like actual concept art that Rad bought, and sticking up there. And these will all be like bookshelf style things, little loot crates, gaming shelves. And then this would actually come here to be a whole little railing thing that comes and then maybe it circles back down like this. And then this is a statue of Bacon. He was the gaming wizard in the original Game Cave from the 80s. Give him a chest. And this is what I would call a Rev 1. So the lobby is over here, and then this way is to table areas. So like I said, that's basically a first real stab at it. And then tomorrow night, I'm gonna throw down on the. I need to actually draw the lobby, so I'll draw the lobby tomorrow night, and then if I got time, lobby shouldn't take but 2 fucking seconds. Also draw the first table pass, and then the library. Where's my Evernotes? Library. Evernote. The library, Moshi's Cafe. Nah, that's not gonna be done. Moshi's Cafe is gonna be pretty huge. So yeah, I'm gonna work on the lobby and the table area. And I'll draw the lobby here so it's kind of vaguely where it's supposed to be, and I'll leave this space open for. See, there's just not enough space right there for the table area. It's a shame that I didn't use that space properly. I don't want to erase the initial sketch. So join me again tomorrow night. We will get that done. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Bye.